Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. This is Yoga with Via. I'm not ready for the name yet, I guess. Online yoga with Via, and it is July 9th, 2019. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and we're going to start in the usual fashion with Kathy in the spotlight as a model. And I'm going to mute everybody but Kathy so that she can talk to me if she needs to. And we're going to start in the ordinary fashion, just lying here and noticing the breath. And why don't you also notice the floor supporting you, supporting the back of you. The floor is saying, I have your back. And think of an intention for today's class. I love my body loves me. My body is a healing machine. And then bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. We're going to do vagus nerve reset. Just bringing the nervous system from the fight-flight side of the nervous system to the relaxing, restoring, healing side of the nervous system. Using the eyeballs. So shift your eyeballs without moving anything else. Shift your eyeballs to the right. You can have your eyes open or closed. And wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, gulp, or yawn. Come back to center and shift your eyeballs to the left and wait and watch for an involuntary swallow, sigh, gulp, or yawn. Come on back and repeat 2 more sets. Right, left, right, left. Finish up. And then keep your arms, hands where they are, and press the back of the occipital ridge, or the skull, the back of the skull at the occipital ridge, into your hands. And stay or pause for a breath or two, and then release. If you'd like, you can put your tongue at the front of your mouth, just behind your teeth. Two more times. And bring your arms beside your hips. We're going to do ribcage breathing. Actually, first we're going to be digging into the bottom of the rib cage with your claws. Make claws with your hands and just start to explore the place where the diaphragm actually attaches to the rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage. This helps create a more space for the diaphragm to move. So just do that for a while. Go all the way out to the side of the rib cage and then all the way back to the middle. Find a place that is really sticky or a little painful. You could stay there or leave it alone, either one. And now ribcage breathing. Just bring your hands, make them into the thumb is wide, and just drop the thumb towards the floor. The fingers are towards the belly button, and you're at the bottom of the rib cage. Just inhale, feel the rib cage widen, and then exhale, it retreats. And then inhale, the rib cage widens, and it also expands front to back. So it's an entire sphere. You're just expanding in all directions with your inhale. Improving our lung capacity and the breath will actually help us. I don't know that it'll prevent COVID, but it'll have us in better shape if we get COVID. And in fact, the nurses use this breath in the hospital, I hear. Some nurses anyway, for COVID patients. Do a couple more breaths. This is ribcage breathing, or some people call it diaphragmatic breathing, or thoracic breathing, but it's the breathing at the ribcage. Finish up and bring your arms, let's see, we're going to do some hypopressives. We're going to do the classic hypopressives. So you're going to start, you're still supine, knees bent, heels on the floor, toes toward the ceiling, so dorsiflexing the foot and ankle. The arms come up and as if you're hugging a tree, right over your chest or your armpits, and flip your fingers. Now, while you're here, you can activate your arms by pressing your palms up toward the ceiling and your shoulder blades into the floor. We're going to do 3 breaths and then count to 10 without a breath, no breath. Holding your breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Whoops. And that's it. Go ahead and hold your breath out. I hope you're still with me. Hold your breath out. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and extend your legs. We're going to do another set of hypopressives to left and right side. So the right ankle over the left. Keep your feet dorsiflexed. Bring your arms up over your chest and stack them with the left hand on top. And now bring them straight back and straighten them up if you can. This is the shape you're supposed to take. And we will do 3 breaths and then no breath for 10 counts. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. No breath. Hold your breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale and exhale. Come on back. Switch sides. Left ankle over right ankle. Dorsiflex the feet. The arms come up. The right hand's on top. And then you bring them overhead. Straighten. Keep your arms as straight as you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. No breath. Hold your breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And come on back. Inhale and exhale. We're going to do a pelvic floor reset. So you're going to stay here, supine, bend your knees, grab a block, have a strap nearby. I think this is a really easy set of movements to do. You could do it in bed, or you can do it on your mat. But it's easy to do, and it really helps with hip mobility. So put a brick with the medium width between your legs. Let's see. Let me see. I can't see what you have, Kathy. I can't tell what you did.
Oh, it's this side.
No, I want the other side, the middle length, the middle width. Yeah, yeah, that one.
This one.
Yeah, no. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. You and I are having a difficulty because we're talking different languages. So, okay. So why don't you put yourself on an angle so I can see what you're actually doing, because that's the problem is I don't. Okay, that's we'll do that in a minute. Do the next widest there, and you might need to slide it up a little bit. Okay, that's the position. Bring your heels as close as you can to your buttocks, and all you do is go from side to side, squeeze the brick, and go from side to side. Move from side to side. Try to keep your shoulders and your arms on the floor, and keep the movement in the hips. And do about 10 of those. 10 sets, right, left. Squeezing the brick. Let me know when you're finished because I lost track, Kathy. And if you've lost track too, two more. Okay. One. Good. Now make it skinnier. Make the brick skinny, the skinniest it can be. Now press on that brick or that block and do the same thing. It's just a little different. Pelvic floor reset. One of the things that happens sometimes is our pelvic floor creates problems for us, movement problems. And if we can get it back, reset it, we can eliminate some of that. I didn't count it all this time, Kathy. Good, I hope you have it. Okay. And then the next one is your strap. So go ahead and put your strap around your thighs, just below your knees. Your strap never came, Kathy, yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I'm sure it's on its way.
I hope so. It might be coming from China. I don't know. So cinch up your thighs, drop your feet and your heel, drop your feet to the floor. Bring your heels as close as you can to your buttocks. And now do the same move, but this time you're pressing out into your straps. Strap. 10 times. Finish up. And now bring your hips up into a bridge, still pressing out. You can actually experiment with a bridge with pressing the block in, but this is out. And then just roll your head from side to side. It's not exactly a look left, look right. It's more of a crescent moon shape. You're just kind of rolling back and forth. While you keep your hips lifted. If you can't keep your hips lifted, you could put a brick underneath your hips. So you'd still get some of the movement, the shape. Mm-hmm. You should, this is core work, by the way, among other things, and glute work. And then it's part of the pelvic reset. It'll help you reset your pelvis. So if you've done 10, you can stop and drop your hips. And that is the end of that sequence. We're going to stay here, supine, with a strap. We're going to do the leg stretch series, which is 1, 2, 3 leg stretches. The first one, your right leg is up toward the ceiling. Your left leg can be bent or straight. And you're going to keep your hips on the floor and move your leg, your foot towards your head. So it can be little, it doesn't have to be big. And just stay here and breathe. Leg stretch number 1. If you can't keep your leg straight, you can have it slightly bent. This also is a hamstring stretch. There's a lot of things this does for you. This is an inversion. It's a great pose. Go ahead and switch sides. And it has a fancy yoga name, Sanskrit name. So the thing is to keep your hips and your pelvis on the floor, so that you're not using a posterior tilt to increase the movement, to bring your foot farther forward. This is all in the hip, all in the femur. Flexion at the femur. And just stop that movement. And then leg stretch number 2, starting again on the right. And this time I think you should straighten your leg this time. And then you're going to drop your leg out to the right. So drop it out to the side and try to keep your left hip on the floor. So don't move your left hip and leg to increase the range of motion on the right leg. Keep that left hip on the floor. You can even put your one hand on the top of your pelvis to help the left side stay down. And by the way, as you probably can see with Kathy, the longer she stays here and breathes, the leg will go down a little farther. This is leg stretch number 2. If this is hard for you, you could put a brick under your foot, under your right foot, as you come out. And then come on back and switch sides, Kathy and everybody. I love this series. And then go out to the left. So the left leg goes out to the left. You can put your right hand on top of your ASIS and try to make sure that the pelvis stays even on the floor. And then the other leg can come down as far as it can come. It could be small. Just take some breaths here. And then come on back, switch sides, right leg stretch number 3. This time, straighten your left leg, and then you actually are going to lift your hips and take the right leg over across the body to the other side, but keep your shoulders on the floor. Yeah. So it may or may, you may or may not be able to, yours may not look like Kathy's, it may not go as far. Maybe it'll go farther, I don't know. But basically, try to stack your hips one on top of the other, and then allow the right leg to go across to the other side. And you could also, if this was really hard for you, you could put a brick under that right foot. Just stay here and breathe, and enjoy the stretch. And then come on back and switch to the other side. So remember, your hips can move. In fact, they should. The bottom one scoots behind and directly underneath the top hip. And keep your arms and shoulders on the floor. And breathe. Come on back. Let's go back to leg stretch 1. I just want to tell you something about leg stretch 1. Do leg stretch 1, straight leg, and let's do some Viloma breathing. So that's the Viloma breath is dividing the inhale into 3 parts. the first part of the inhale fills the first third of the lungs, and then pause, and then fill the second third of the lungs with another inhale, and then pause, and then fill the last third of the lungs, and pause, and then exhale normally. So what I wanted to say is Dr. Fishman was one of my favorite teachers, and he's an evidence-based yoga teacher. He says this pose and Viloma breathing helps fight insomnia. You can do it before you fall asleep. You can do it if you wake up in the middle of the night. Now he talks, I don't know whether he actually suggests to do the breath during the pose, but I think that's the most efficient way to go, is to do the stretch, the leg stretch, and the breath at the same time. Go ahead and switch sides and do some Viloma breathing with leg stretch 1 on the left. And finish up. I like Viloma breathing also because it's a really nice breath to strengthen the lungs. Come up to your favorite floor-seated position. And you may want to sit on a blanket or a block. Actually, if you're trying to accomplish good posture in a floor-seated position, lifting your hips a little bit will often help you with your good posture. And we are trying for good posture here. So you want to think of your shoulders as stacking directly over your hips. And then your ears directly over your shoulders. And feeling long in the spine. We're going to go ahead and do a flat back hip hinge from a floor-seated position, whichever one you chose. So I want you to put your hands on your knees and move forward at the hip joint. Do not round your lumbar spine. Do not round your thoracic spine. Do not round your cervical spine. Okay, go ahead and come forward. Think about broomstick coming forward. The forward movement comes at the hip. So open your chest, lift your head a little, Kathy. Not that much. And think long and straight. So all of the movement is happening at the hip joint. It could be very small. If you have a tight upper back, this could be a very small movement, but I want you to feel it in the hip, at the hips. The lower back should feel a really nice stretch. Come on back, so just bring yourself back up. Use your hands to do this. Use your hands to stabilize yourself and to allow yourself to, you can even pull. If you have your hands on your knees, you can sort of pull forward and stretch. Pull forward. Use your hands to help you do that. You can drop your head a little bit. And now, nice. And then you can come up. You can even press up, but use your spine to come up. Nice, very nice. And do it again one more time. So down you come, flat back, hip hinge. This is the movement we're always trying to get when we're using the spine. So try not to use the lumbar spine to come forward at all. And then come up. Good. Let's do the knee hug. So that means you're going to put one knee, or let's say the right knee is up toward the ceiling. Right knee up, left knee behind you. Let's see, how can I say this? Oh, the left knee is behind you, but you then take your right, okay, there it goes. Now the right knee is up, the left knee is forward on the floor, the right knee is forward toward the ceiling.
Oh,
You might need a brick. It might be more comfortable with brick. So, okay, right knee up. Now what I want you to do, so your left knee is going to have to come a little bit farther forward, because I want you to take your right foot across to the other side of the left knee. This is a knee hug. This is a knee hug spine twist. I think we're going to do it without that. So go ahead and bring your arm down, and then just take both legs in the same direction. Both legs in the same direction, and the underneath foot can go underneath the shin of the other leg. More like that. Okay, we're going to do a spine twist from this direction. Instead, we'll work up to the other one, the knee hug, because I think that if it's hard for Kathy, it's probably hard for a lot of you. So, but this looks pretty good. So sit tall and bring your left hand to your right knee, and then rotate the thoracic spine to the right, and take your arm behind your right arm behind you on the floor. Try to keep your spine tall. You may have to put a brick under you may have to put a brick, or bring your arm closer so that you're not leaning backward. So I want you to sit really, really tall and rotate, and then use your hand behind you. The hand is just, I don't want you to necessarily pull your arm back any further. If you want to, though, you can take your chin to the right. Stay here and breathe. Come back to center. And do it again, same side, and then we'll switch to the other side. So left hand, right knee. Sit up tall, and then rotate the thoracic spine to the right, and then bring your arm behind you. And you can bring your chin towards your shoulder if you'd like. Stay here and breathe and get as tall as you can. So good posture and height, length in the spine. So you're rotating and also growing tall. Come on back and switch to the other side. So both knees are forward and the bottom leg is I'm going to have to get a brick to do this. I don't know how many people know, but I have a back injury that I can't seem to get rid of, a low back injury on my left hip. And every time I do anything, I mean, some of my yoga stuff is fine, but I went in the pool and did some hip circles, and it's aggravated it. I went on my power plate. I have lots of toys. I went on my power plate for 7 minutes, and it aggravated it. So anyway, so I have to get up on a brick for this one. There you are, and you're going to take this time you're going to take your right hand to your left knee, and then sit tall and rotate the thoracic spine. You can bring your arm behind you, just like a prop. providing a little bit of framework for you. And then if you want to, take your chin to the left. So think of what's happening on the inside of your body. Your thoracic spine is rotating, and your spine is also getting taller. This pose is actually, twists are great for lots of things, and this pose also creates traction for the vertebra. Come on back, slowly, and then do it again. Now remember, this is going. Your pose may look different than Kathy's. You may not be able to rotate much. It could be very small. Stay tall, everybody. Come on back. The next thing we're going to do, and you can change into another floor-seated position. We're just going to do side bending. Side bending in a floor-seated position. So whatever you do, we'll switch it in the middle. We'll do a couple on both sides, and then we'll switch. So if you're doing cross-legged, like Kathy is, you'll switch the other leg to the front in a minute. From here, start with putting your right hand on the floor. And then keep your hips on the ground or your brick, whatever. And then take your left hand arm up and over. You may want to bend your right elbow, but you want to still keep the hips even on the floor. And now while you're here, go ahead and drop your elbow and your armpit a little forward to get another stretch at the latissimus dorsi. Breathe. Come back to center, and then come all the way back. Other side, starting with the left hand on the floor. Keep the hips even, arm up and over. So stretching on one side, crunching on the other. Stay here and take a couple breaths, and then go ahead and bring your elbow and your armpit a little farther forward to find a stretch along the back, outside of the back side body. Come on back to center, and then come all the way up. Switch your legs. Unless you're doing this from a hero pose, then you don't have to switch. And we'll do it again on right side first. Arm goes down, up, over. Think of what's happening. Keep your hips on the floor, your pelvis on the floor. Elbow and armpit forward. Come on back to center and bring your arm up to seated. Left hand down, right hand up and over. This, when you're doing the first move here, you're working on the muscle, the quadratus lumborum, between at your waist, on your side body at your waist, between the rib cage and the pelvis. And then when you lean forward with your elbow and your armpit, you've left quadratus lumborum, QL, and you're now in latissimus dorsi. Come on back to center, and then all the way up. Very nice, everybody. Let's go to, how are we doing on time? Let's go to a prone position, low quadricep. First, hands and feet. Just spend some time crawling, please, back and forth on your mat, or you can escape from the mat. Crawling forward and then crawling backward. Just knowing that actually, sometimes you may feel like the most efficient way to get somewhere is to crawl. You're in your living room. You want to go across the room to the chair. Maybe you'll get off the couch and crawl to the chair. Your children will have something to say about that, but I hope you've done a little backward crawling too. Now, you can actually advance your crawl by lifting up your knees. It's called the bear crawl. Can you do that, Kathy? Lift up your knees and now crawl. The bear crawl, it's a little harder.
It's.
It is. Anyway, you can do that. Go ahead and come into bird dog. So let's do the sequenced version of bird dog. So the first thing Kathy's going to do is just leave her right foot on the floor and drag it behind her to straighten her leg. Nice. That's exactly what I wanted. And then come on back. Other side. And back. One more time. The next time you do it, straighten your leg and bring it parallel to the floor. So bring it out the same way. Now lift your leg and bring it parallel to the floor. Drop it, keep it straight, and drag it back in. Okay. And now next time, your right foot goes out behind your right leg goes out behind you and lifts, and your left arm lifts. This is only if you can get that. Otherwise, stay at some of the other levels. Try to keep your hips and your shoulders even, so that so that everything feels asymmetrical. And then come on back. And other side. This is great for core. You should feel your core working and your balance. Breathing. And come on back. One more time, one more set. Full bird dog. Remember, you could be just doing the legs. Come on back, other side. And come on up. Come up to standing. We're going to do more balancing, just the traditional balancing movement, unless you want to do. I think I'm going to show the tree with a chair. So I'm going to show the yoga traditional balancing pose in yoga is a tree, but you can do it on a chair with help from a chair. So I'm going to show this. If this is not what you want to do, you can do a straight up balancing pose, just lifting your leg up. So, Kathy, can you be on the other side of the chair? Oh, with but flip it around so it's facing you the other direction. No, the seat is there. Now, that's the position it should be, but you should be on the other side of it. You're
Oh,
your leg up. You're going to put so here you are. standing in Tadasana, which is good posture, basically. Um, and you're going to have your feet forward, straight forward, towards me, and then take your leg, your right leg, and put it up on the chair. There, out like that. Maybe coming a little bit closer to the chair. Yeah. And your foot is out a little. Your foot is out. Yes. So now all you're going to try to do while you're here is bring your arms into prayer position and then up. Straight up. And breathe. Now, if you love tree pose, I wish Leslie was here. If you love tree pose and you don't want to use the chair, this is a great tree pose. You can be here. But if you love it in a traditional way, you can take the chair away and put your right foot on your ankle or below your knee or above your knee. Out to the outside a little more, Kathy. Yes. Now, can you bring it up to above your knee? Okay. And then can you bring it up to your thigh? Actually, once you get there, that's the easiest position.
As far as I can go.
Yeah. Okay. So you shouldn't have it right on the knee. You should have it either below or above the knee. It's safer to do it just below or just above. And on the outside, so it's not in the front of your thigh. Your toes are dropping toward the floor. So try any of these poses, you guys, any of these variations. And if you want to put your hands in prayer pose and find a point across the room that you can look at, this will help you with your balance. If none of this appeals to you, the technique, the tree pose, if none of it appeals to you, you can just lift your right leg up in front of you and stay. Go ahead and switch sides. You can start out with the chair, Kathy. Mm-hmm. Hands in prayer pose. Remember, now Kathy won't need this probably because she has her chair helping her, but she could look straight ahead, find an object on the other wall that she can stare at. This will help with balance. Bring your arms overhead. Kathy, yep, stay there. Bring your arms overhead. So the full tree pose is the bottom and the top. The arms go straight up and overhead, and then the legs are whatever they are, right? Go ahead and try this without a chair, Kathy. Mm-hmm. She's found a spot across the room.
I have the perfect spot.
And and maybe she'll get her hands above her head. Okay, everybody down on the floor. Finish up here. Come down on the floor for a back extension. Just lie on your belly. On your mat. We're going to do all 3 levels. Remember, you can stay at one level or another. Please stop. This is can be a very exhausting pose, especially if you do all 3 levels. So stop if you need to and come back into a child's pose and rest if you need to. Arms by your side, palms up. Level 1. Inhale to prepare and exhale to lift. Nice. Stay here for a couple breaths. If you want, you can lift your upper back and your chest a little higher. And then inhale to prepare to return, and exhale to return to the floor. Level 2, we'll add on. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Stay here, inhale. And exhale, arms out to airplane. Inhale to prepare to return. And then exhale, come all the way down. Level 3, inhale to prepare, exhale, arms and chest up. Inhale to prepare for airplane, exhale, arms come out to the side. Inhale to prepare for superwoman, and then exhale, the arms come up by the ears. Take an inhale and an exhale. One more, and then inhale, arms come out, exhale. Inhale and exhale, arms come down. Very nice. Let's do the prone thoracic stretch, which I usually always do here. It's such a nice combination of events. Look to the right. Your arms are spread in airplane, actually. Keep your arms and your armpits on the floor. Look to the right, lift your right leg, and take it over behind the back of the left leg. You can move your hips, you can move your legs. Please keep your shoulders on the floor. You can bend your knee. Find something that starts to open up the upper back. That's exactly what this is doing. If you feel something in the lower back, make it smaller. And come back to the original shape and switch sides. Look left, left leg lifts up and behind the opposite leg. Keep your armpits on the floor. Breathe. If any of you are finding that this movement is creating more mobility in your upper back, I'd like to hear about it. That's the intent, but I don't always know what's really happening. Come on back. And one more set. Right leg goes over behind the other leg. Keep your arms, armpits, chest on the floor. The other result, go ahead and come back and repeat on the other side. The other result that you could notice in this is less lower back pain. One of the other results. You could either notice more mobility in your upper back or less lower back pain. Finish up. Find your way onto your back, supine, for Yoga Nidra, 61-point guided meditation. I am going to walk you through. These 61 points, which you should be very familiar with now. Actually, the most ideal thing would be for you to memorize for yourself these 61 points and the order of them, and do your own meditation, saying silently to yourself all the points. At least that's what I hear. But in the meantime, here I am guiding you through the points. Starting with you may want to put a blanket on top of you, or a washcloth over your eyes to help your eyes relax. Starting with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Noticing your abdomen as it rises and falls. Could you hear me when I said that? Any of that? I just noticed my volume was totally off. How
Or
could
you're dancing with your microphone.
Oh, anyway, I hope you heard me say breath. So start with breath. And now, bringing your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual, heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This concludes your 61-point guided yoga nidra meditation. Just stay here and start to notice your breath and maybe wiggle some fingers and toes and stretch your legs out and bring your arms overhead. Some things that bring you back into your body. Wiggle and stretch and wiggle and stretch. Hug your right knee to your chest and then your left. Rock from side to side. Come all the way over to the side into a fetal position and stay here for 30 seconds or more, just so you don't get dizzy when you come up to seated. And then bring yourself up to a seated position. We're using your top hand. Find a floor-seated position. Unmute yourself. I'm going to cancel the spotlight so that we can all see each. Well, for me, I don't know whether I can. Yeah, I can't. I'm on gallery view. Okay. Hi, Karen.
Hey.
Kathleen, go ahead and so find your comfortable seated position and bring your hands to your heart. Press really hard on your palms together, really hard. Just get a little more chest work, a little more muscle work. And then you can relax that. Lift the skull, lift the back of your base of your skull up, and then nod over your vertebra, the top of your vertebra, C1, C2. Just nodding to each other, bowing, nodding, indicating how much we respect and honor and love each other. And then closing the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
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 Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Hey, Via.
Thank you.